Most everyone can agree that taking advantage of a child's innocence is an act of pure evil, but let me introduce you to someone who's admitted to doing just that. His name is Jack Reynolds, and he spent over a decade in prison for molesting and taking advantage of young boys. This is a small portion of an interview he did with WRTV news station in Indianapolis, Indiana. During the interview, Jack Reynolds admits to violating 300 little boys, starting while he was in high school, serving as a referee in an intramural sports league. Watch and see how he selected and gained access to his victims. Why is this important to you? Because as a father, your most important job is the protection of your children. And God has given you the understanding that in order to protect your children from predators like him, you must first understand how they think and how they operate.
How did you find your victims?
I found my victims moving from town to town. I scoped them out on school grounds. I scoped them out in Little League diamonds. I scoped them out in my own backyards, my neighborhoods, and things like that. It started out where I would move from one town to another. When I got located in one town, I would, survey the children in the town to see. It was always a small town. It was never a big one. Because big towns have big police forces, and big police forces tend not to be very friendly. Small towns have small police forces. They probably never even heard of a child molester or a sex offender, or never even had to deal with one. I knew that. At least I played upon that. And I got involved in Little League baseball because I knew from my high school days that I could umpire Little League baseball. I could umpire baseball. I was good at it. I was good at refereeing basketball and other sports because I could not play worth a crap in high school, but I enjoyed the sport so much that I did not want to not be a part of it. So I took up managing in high school, and then our coaches allowed me to referee intramural. And when I got to referee intramural, that gave me direct access to the younger boys. And that was how my molesting began, was in high school, when I had direct access to the younger boys through the intramural programs.
God has placed 5 key foundational callings upon a man's life. As a man, you are called to be the priest, the prophet, the provider, the protector, and the pursuer in the lives of your family. Each calling carries with it a very unique set of responsibilities. Today, let's look at the call of the provider, principally as it relates to the raising of your son. In the Bible, the book of 2 Samuel chapter 7 verses 14 and 15 reads, "I will be his father, and he shall be my son. My love and kindness shall not leave him." Raising a boy is not merely a journey, it's a blessing from God, granting you the power and responsibility of molding him into a resilient, confident, and independent man, poised to make a significant impact on the world. The influence of one man can be monumental, as history shows us. So what will your son's impact on the world be? The role of a father in raising a boy from infancy to manhood is extraordinarily crucial. From his first breath, a baby boy looks to his father as his primary source of strength, leadership, security, comfort, and love. In the early years, as the foundations of character, trust, and identity are being laid, a father's involvement serves as the cornerstone of this developmental arch. A father's role extends beyond teaching basic skills like walking and talking. It involves instilling values and principles that will guide him for a lifetime. Every interaction, every game, every bedtime story is a chance to impart wisdom, ignite curiosity, and foster emotional intelligence. A father's presence and influence in these formative years is crucial in shaping the boy's understanding of the world and his place in it. To a baby boy, his father is the ultimate role model. He absorbs everything: how his father treats people, tackles challenges, and shows love and emotion. This absorption is critical in shaping the boy's behavior, attitudes, and beliefs. Early involvement of a father profoundly influences his son's social and emotional development. Moreover, A father's presence provides a boy with a sense of security and stability, essential to the son's psychological well-being. This secure attachment fosters a sense of belonging, confidence, and self-worth, and sets the stage for the son's ability to develop healthy relationships and friendships with other men. The way a father interacts, plays, and communicates with his son significantly shapes the child's social skills and his ability to form strong, positive connections. Ultimately, the joy of raising a boy lies in witnessing his growth into a strong, kind, and wise man. It's about being present, not just as a provider or protector, but as a guide, mentor, and loving father, a role that is both a privilege and a profound responsibility. Your role as a father in your son's life extends far beyond the realms of basic care and nurturing. In today's world, where threats to a child's innocence and well-being are increasingly prevalent, a father's protective presence becomes an essential shield. Young boys, in the absence of their father's safeguard, face a heightened risk of falling prey to sexual abuse and exploitation. Tragically, the innocence of childhood, which should be a time of unburdened exploration and learning, can be forever marred by predators who exploit the void left by an absent father, leaving your son wondering why you didn't love him enough to protect him.
How did you get them alone?
Grooming. I would check out their family situation. I would check out their clothing to see how well they were, financially. I would check out their social interaction with other kids. When we were on the ballparks or on the gym floor, I would make sure which ones I wanted to molest. I would give them special attention, congratulate them, talk to them when I know that I would never be allowed to talk to anybody else. Aside from everybody, I would give them the attention that an official is not supposed to give anybody. And it made them feel like, wow, he's paying me attention. It is a direct form of grooming.
Were there certain characteristics that you looked for in children before molesting them?
In children, yes, but more I also looked at their families. If I thought the father was a threat, I would not approach the child. If I thought that the child had friends that he would tell, I would not approach him. If I thought the child had friends that were in the same capacity he was, I would approach him. For the simple fact that if I could molest him, I could lure him into believing, grooming him into believing that he would enjoy it. And therefore, I could manipulate him into having his other friends come and be molested by me as well.
So perhaps a child that doesn't really have a whole lot of friends, maybe not really a strong family, things like that.
Yes, no spiritual values, weak in education, needs help in many ways, even from split parenting, has a mother who may be having problems with the family, well, here comes superhero in to help out, wow, well, thank you very much. No problem. You ever need me to take them away for the night so you can have a night out? No problem. It works.
Boys learn to recognize and assert their personal boundaries through the examples and teachings of their fathers. Conversely, boys raised without this guidance often struggle to establish these boundaries and may find it difficult to distinguish between genuine care and manipulative behavior, making them more susceptible to abuse. A father's active involvement in his son's life is a powerful counterforce to the tactics of predators, who often prey on a boy's lack of self-confidence, feelings of isolation, natural need for male attention, and the absence of a father's guiding hand and protective influence. Thus, a father's role transcends mere physical protection, delving deep into the emotional and psychological well-being of the child, fortifying him against the dangers of exploitation and guiding him safely through the vulnerable journey of childhood. In the nuanced journey of raising a son, it's essential to understand that mere presence isn't enough. Active participation is key. Because a father's active role is multifaceted. He is a protector, a provider, a teacher, a mentor, a role model, and often a son's first and most enduring superhero. This portrayal goes far beyond the capes and superpowers depicted in comic books and movies. It embodies the real-life strength, courage, and integrity that a father demonstrates daily. To his son, a father's superpowers are manifested in his unwavering support, his boundless love, and his ability to make the world feel safe and manageable. He's the man who lifts spirits with a smile, repairs a broken toy with the finesse of a master craftsman, and dispels a child's fears of the monsters lurking and hiding underneath his bed or in his closet with a single reassuring word. In his son's eyes, a father is the embodiment of courage and strength, not just in the physical sense, but in his moral fiber, his resilience in the face of adversity, and his unyielding commitment to what is right and just. He teaches, not through grandiose gestures, but through the everyday acts of kindness, understanding, and wisdom. In every challenge he navigates, every problem he solves, and every moment of unconditional love, a father cements his status as his son's first hero. This heroic image imprints a powerful and lasting legacy in a young boy's mind, shaping his perceptions of masculinity, responsibility, and the essence of being a good man in a not-so-good world. As your son's hero, you are a bulwark against the forces that threaten to corrupt his innocence, and you serve as a guiding light towards a path of positive growth and development. In essence, you are the unsung hero in the narrative of your son's journey to manhood. Studies show that fatherless boys are at a markedly increased risk of juvenile delinquency, substance abuse, and truancy, factors that often serve as precursors to criminal activities.
I think from a product of where you're growing up, depending on, where you live, where your family's from, what are the options there? A lot of people aren't given good options. They actually come from really impoverished communities, right? And sometimes they don't know they got to do the thing they got to do to put bread on the table, right? And sometimes that involves theft or drugs, right? My dad did that stuff as well, and but I think for me, I was going down that path, of making bad decisions. When I was 17 years old, I got caught robbing from Target, and at the time I thought that was the right thing to do. I watched my dad do it. I'm like, okay, dad's cool. I had these things instilled in the back of my head. I'm like, okay, and end up stealing like a bunch of electronics from the Target when I was 17 years old and got caught, spent 18 hours in jail. And I'm like, man, this sucks. Like the guy next to me is like saying, I'm going to kill that bitch. I'm going to kill that bitch. I'm like, what was he talking about? Like, this guy's nuts. Another guy's like rocking in the corner. Looks like he just got off a crack pipe. I'm like, this is not where I need to be in life,
Wow.
So basically after that moment, I made a decision. I never want to be here again. Mom and grandma picked me up the next morning. It was a waterworks show. And started bartending, get into a different scene. Again, alcohol, bad friends, bad circles, bad people, staying up late. I was never going to do drugs or steal or, God forbid, kill. So I would never kill anyone, right? I never want to be in jail or put myself in a situation, but still I continued to make bad decisions because of the people I was hanging out with.
Right.
The lack of a father's emotional connection, physical presence, and protective influence often leads boys to seek approval and validation from external male sources. This quest can cause young men to gravitate towards negative influences, mistaking them for the male mentorship and guidance they crave. Such influences, often under the guise of understanding and camaraderie, can lure boys into dangerous behaviors, making them easy targets for peer pressure, leading to early initiation into harmful activities such as gang affiliation or alcohol and substance abuse. The journey of a young man in search of identity and belonging is perilous without the compass of his father as a role model. In your absence, this search can veer dangerously off course, leading to antisocial behaviors and, alarmingly, to a higher likelihood of brushes with the law and incarceration. The data speaks volumes. Boys without fathers are significantly more likely to have entanglement in criminal activities, a path often marked by aggression, conflict, and a stark defiance of societal norms and authority. The absence of a father leaves a deep chasm in a boy's emotional and moral landscape, a gap that too often gets filled with negative influences. Your role as a father is critical in instilling values, discipline, and a sense of responsibility, elements vital for navigating life's complexities. Without this guidance, young boys are at a heightened risk of falling into cycles of crime and incarceration, struggles that can mar their futures irreparably. As a father, you are called by God to not only provide and protect, but to actively participate in training up your son to be a man of character, resilience, and integrity. It's about being more than a figurehead. It's about constructing a future for your son that is secure, structured, and brimming with limitless potential, rather than one pockmarked with pitfalls. The time you spend with your son, teaching him to ride a bike, taking him on a fishing trip, showing him how to fix things around the home, or going to the park and engaging in a game of catch, is far more than simple bonding. These activities are powerful avenues for imparting life lessons, forging emotional connections, and developing critical skills that will shape your son into the man he is destined to be. When you teach your son to ride a bike, you're not just guiding him in balance and physical health, but instilling perseverance. Quiet moments spent fishing become lessons in patience and an appreciation for the world around them. Repairing things together or playing sports is not just about fun. It's about developing their critical thinking, problem-solving skills, coordination, teamwork, and an appreciation for hard work. These moments are vital in modeling what true masculinity is. These shared experiences are the building blocks of your son's confidence and character. They are lessons in resilience, persistence, and the courage to face challenges head-on. Through these activities, you're equipping your son with essential tools for life, molding his character, and setting the foundation for his future success. Moreover, your active participation in your son's life teaches more than any textbook ever could. You're showing him how to grow into a responsible, hard-working, and critically thinking man. You're instilling a work ethic and honing his ability to think deeply and solve problems effectively. Your presence teaches personal responsibility, mental strength, and the ability to stay composed under pressure. These lessons in fortitude, resilience, and stoicism are crucial for navigating life's inevitable trials. Fathers, your influence is irreplaceable and profound. By being present and engaged, you're not just raising a boy, you're shaping the future of a man who is decisive, strong, confident, emotionally intelligent, and prepared to meet the world head-on. Embrace this responsibility with all your might, and watch as your son grows into a man who not only challenges the world, but enriches it. Men, maybe your son is grown, and there's friction between the two of you. Reflect back upon your journey of fatherhood. See where mistakes were made, where you didn't live up to your calling, where there was disappointment and feelings were hurt. Remember that mastering the perfection of fatherhood belongs only to God. He is the only perfect father. It is in acknowledging that we are but mere mortals, that our shortcomings are missteps in guiding our sons and raising them, that we find a path to redemption and healing. At the same time, sons must reflect upon their lives, their decisions, and the choices they made that contributed to the friction between them and their father. In the book of Luke, chapter 15, you'll find the story of the prodigal son. This is the poignant story of the broken relationship between a father and son. The son no longer wanted the authority of his father controlling him, so after demanding his portion of the inheritance, he left home and lived his life the way he wanted. Soon he found himself in a strange land, penniless, alone, and hungry. One day, while working as a hired hand, feeding a herd of pigs, he thought to himself about the conditions under which the people who worked for his father lived, and he decided to go back home, unsure if his father would welcome him back. In verse 20, the Bible reads, "So he returned home to his father. And while he was still a long distance away, his father saw him coming, and was filled with loving pity, and ran and embraced him and kissed him." Now ask yourself this question: if your son had acted in the same manner as the prodigal son, what type of reception would he receive from you when he came back home? As fathers and sons, we've all made mistakes, and we've all been prodigals at one time or another. This journey of fatherhood is marred by trials and triumphs, and yet every day offers us a profound opportunity for restoration and growth, especially as sons mature into manhood. The key to renewing this sacred bond between father and son lies in each of you having the willingness to forgive the mistakes of the past and a desire to be part of each other's future. This step, while seemingly simple, is a profound act of vulnerability, trust, and courage. It breaks down years of built-up walls, allowing for a new foundation to be laid, one of mutual respect and understanding. It's a process that requires patience, empathy, and often a leap of faith. In this, the role of the Holy Spirit of God and His guidance cannot be overstated. The teachings of the Bible, emphasizing forgiveness, grace, and unconditional love, serve as powerful tools in mending the fissures of the past. They provide a common ground where both father and son can stand and rebuild their relationship, one that both of you will benefit from. As you embark on this journey together, you'll find that the bond between you strengthens, deepens, and evolves, forged in the shared fires of your experiences, and is solidified by your mutual commitment to reconnecting and starting again. This revitalized connection, under God's guiding hand, is more than just healing old wounds. It's about enriching your future together. Your adult son is now a father, in his own right, raising a son of his own, the next generation of your family. By keeping the lines of communication open and your heart receptive, you can continue to play a vital role in shaping and impacting not just his life, but also the lives of generations to come.